producer, an amazing songwriter and director. Please, Living a Rich Life talk show, put your hands together and welcome the one and only, the poetic rock star.
What's up, family? How you doing, man?
I am well, I am well. First and foremost, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Just trying to live a rich life.
I,
That's it.
I like that. I like that energy. I like that right off the top. So
Yes,
let's start right off the bat. Let's not play any games. Let's get into it.
yeah.
Um, Tell us how you discovered your ability to write and do spoken word poetry.
Yeah, man. It started for me actually at a young age. When I was young, I played sports a lot, but it wasn't like my main thing in school. But I love basketball. I always loved basketball. But when I was in school, I had this girl that I was just like dying over, man. And but she was like the real popular girl, and she was like really into like the athletes and ever. And I was like, man, well, I ain't the star player, the athlete. I got to figure out something. And
Okay.
I found out that she liked poetry, and then from there, I'm gonna try to write a poem. And then no, but I stuck with it. Yeah,
Okay. That's amazing. Sometimes opposite sex, the things that we do to try to get their attention. But that's a
absolutely.
good that's a good thing because it seemed like it's catapults you into doing some great stuff.
Yeah,
So let me ask you this: poetic rock star.
yeah.
How'd you come up with that name? And
Man,
is it the poetic rock star?
yeah. It's the poetic rock star. Originally, my original name was Floetry Man. Right. When I first started, it was Floetry Man. Then from that to, well, I'm not just a poet anymore. I like to mix my poetry with music. So then I created Floetry Man, the poetic rock star, a whole long statement. So where the Floetry Man was the poetry side and the poetic rock star was mainly the music. And then I was like, yo, I just need to keep it simple. So we dropped the Floetry Man and then we stuck with the poetic rock star, and we've been rocking ever since.
Okay. And how long have you been in the music industry and making music? Because we're gonna get these basic questions out the way,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna start digging.
I do, yeah. Uh, man, gotta be about 10 years taking it seriously. 10 taking music seriously, and I've always like from a young age. My uncle, he was really into the music business as well, so I automatically just like gravitated into the business part of music, and it just happened that I was good at creating it at the same time. So yeah, about 10.
Okay, that's what's up, as they say. So tell us about this term, and
Yeah.
I don't wanna slaughter it. So Neotry. What's that?
Yeah, Neotree. So it's
Neotree.
pronounced, yeah,
Okay,
it's pronounced
so
Neotree.
Neotree. Tell us about this term Neotree. Break it down, the meaning and where it originated from.
Yep. So when I was doing poetry, mainly just poetry over like smooth sounding beats, I was like, yo, this is really dope. I don't really hear anyone doing this like how I picture me doing it. Makes basically making it a mainstream genre for poetry. And I was like, yo, I need a name for it because I want to come up with a curriculum, teach people how to do it, X, Y, Z. So we was brainstorming, and I was like, yo, Neo means new. And then we just took the end of poetry and just said, yo, let's rock on Neotree. And from there, it was history.
Nice. And that's why I said unique artist, because again, a lot of the stuff that the team came back was definitely unique in its
Mhm.
nature as it pertains to poetry and music. So
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. Tell
Yeah.
us, did you have a nickname growing up?
It was just DJ. My actual name is David Jr. and then DJ, and then from there, when I got into the music scene, it was just poetic rock star or rock star. That was it.
I like. Now you know one thing we do here, we sometimes take some time to hear some talent.
Mhm.
So hopefully you'll be able to bless us with something, whether it's poetry or a song. That's something that
Yes, sir.
we're looking forward to.
Yeah.
And again, Be Exposed Radio, my guy Monty, we're about exposing, be exposed.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
Great talent. So we definitely want to talk about a few other things and how we can get your music on the station.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
all right. So with the current state of the music industry right now, how is your music influencing your life?
Um, It's actually a big portion of my life because I had taken a hiatus for a little bit, like for about two years. I had stopped like creating my own music, and like I took that time during that period to just collect myself. And now the music that we're putting together, I think it's super personal, because it's always been personal. I've always written from a this is my life point of view and what I experience and what I go through. But I think now it's more in depth because I'm more vulnerable and I'm open to like expressing myself. So it definitely means a lot to me. And a new project that we putting out, it's I ain't gonna gas myself, but it's pretty.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I think your flow
yeah,
is. I like your flow. Again, we saw a couple of videos. We checked them out. You know, we had a little watch party. Again, that's
nice.
what we do, and it was really good. So tell us and talk to us about the song "Fear." So off your recent
Yeah.
project, right? What inspired this quote? So first, I want you to tell us about the song "Fear,"
Mhm.
and then there's a quote. Sometimes you have to remind yourself that you are greater than your worst fear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So fear,
Sounds like
man.
it's passionate. Sound like it's
Yeah,
passionate to you.
yeah. Fear is super means that fear record means a lot to me because it was really the first time I became vulnerable in my writings. Because normally, if you meet me, I'm very reserved. Like you don't know what's going on with me unless like you're in my immediate circle of like two people. So
Hmm.
writing fear from my point of view, because the only thing that I was ever really afraid of was failing and not trying, right? Writing from the point of view of, man, what if fear was a person, and writing that record, it gave me the ability to see that, hey, like you're not the only one who goes through something. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be open and express yourself. And that quote just basically came from, whatever you feel like you're facing, whatever you feel like you're fearful of, like that's not the end all be all. Like you can conquer that. And I'm a full testimony of that, of just keep going and what I love to do.
As just like you, that is my story as well, King.
Yeah,
That is
yeah,
my story as well. So again, those that are watching and just tuning in, we have the poetic rock star. We're talking music. We're talking poetry. If you have any questions, comments that you would like to ask him, by all means, drop something in the chat box, and we'll be sure to ask him. But in the
yeah.
meantime, we're gonna keep talking poetry, music, and what inspires him. Right.
Hmm.
Um, so what is the process like when you need to encourage yourself and stay positive, especially during these times? Because that is something
Yeah.
that I struggle with. However, I got a great team between
Mhm.
Be Exposed team, Amani, some of the other directors, producers, folks on my team. They keep me going.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just don't have the energy. So tell us, what's
Right.
that process look like when you need to encourage yourself and stay positive?
I go in the car, man. I go in the car or I go to the park, and I just I'm really a homebody. I don't like to be around a bunch of people. Not even
Mhm.
outside of COVID. I just like to be by myself a lot of times if I'm not in the studio, and I just like to think. You know what I'm saying? Like to think anything I say, I like to say intentionally. So when I'm by myself, I have time to like collect my thoughts. And then that writing process is just me expressing myself to me just openly, and then from there I can just piece the pieces together with the words. But yeah, that's it's just me in the car by myself. That's it.
Just driving.
Yeah.
Radio on or radio off.
No, I definitely throw in some beats, man. I definitely throw in some beats, and then I just freestyle in my head. And if a lot of times it don't make no sense, but by the end of it, it comes together perfectly.
Okay, okay. See, that's that artistry.
Right, right.
You know. All right, so let's talk about um, Gold Roses.
Yeah.
Right. So the total production behind your song Gold Roses, which
Mm-hmm.
was amazing quality with a
Yeah.
simple yet powerful video of just
Yeah.
you and a studio mic. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us about that. Shout out to Drake and the process of making, to me, this masterpiece.
Yeah, man. That's first of all, I appreciate that. Masterpiece is a good word.
I know that's
Yeah,
right.
man.
Okay.
I go roses, man. That like when I hear records like Gold Roses, 'cause that's originally Rick Ross's song. When I first heard it, I was like, man, this is my vibe, right? But when I got to writing the record, it was like, man, like a lot of people when they see me or because like I said, I was in the hiatus, I went into this lane of like, yo, he's a writer. Like he write records for people and the records come out dope. The end. So it's like, yo, I gotta remind people, like, don't forget, like, I still got bars. Like, so that was my intent in the Go Roses record. It was like, yo, don't forget, like, I can still spit and it's coming. It's coming for sure. And then when I heard the record Go Roses, I was like, yo, we definitely gotta do this. So I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always nice when things fall into place nice and easy,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes,
It's
sir.
always nice. But tell us about an unknown challenge you had to overcome to be where you are today.
Oh, man, it's a plenty of them. But as an artist, one of the challenges I had to overcome was people just demeaning what spoken word artists are. You know, when I would tell people like now I don't even say I'm a spoken word artist. I just say I'm an artist because normally when I would say like, yo, I'm a spoken word artist, XYZ, originally their first response would be like, yo, you perform at Busboys and Poets? And I'd be what? Like, why is that the plateau of spoken word artists, right? So overcoming that stigma of like, there's no such thing as spoken word artists who can be at a higher level than busboys and poets was definitely a challenge as an artist. Also, like having people believe in the same thing that I believe in, because so many people wanted to change the direction of what I thought, what I wanted to do. And it was like, yo, like I gotta stay focused on the vision and the goal that I see because at the end of the day, it's my vision, you know? That was a challenge for me. And then just on a personal level, being an artist is not easy. You know what I'm saying? There comes a lot with that, meaning like finances, connections, like those things I think people take lightly when they see artists because they just think, yo, once you're an artist, you drop on Apple Music, you're automatically on. Like that's not how it goes. So, I had to go through all of these challenges and mentally, you know what I'm saying? I've been through like depression. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to, lose close friends. I know all these feelings and all these emotions. And it just so happens that I'm able to like articulate that in my music. So yeah.
So you mentioned spoken word artistry, well, artists, right?
Yeah.
So how do you view the spoken word artistry of today versus the great poets of yesterday, right? So because we got some pretty great poets that hey, they could did the thing at Busboy and Poets and have done it beyond.
Yeah.
So how do you view the spoken word artistry of today versus?
I think it's really really dope, man. I'm like I said, I'm still in that area in that realm. I think it's the same thing as music. It's just to music and how you deliver is the only difference. But the spoken word artists of before, dynamic artists. I just think the difference between it now is maybe the artists of today are more so focused on like wordplay and presentation than the before artists, which I think is just an addition to what they've done before. And I think the genre just continues to grow. It always adds a plus to whatever you want to do. Like some of my favorite artists, like Chakra, these guys, J. Rod, these guys are amazing spitters. And to this day, I'll always bump them, like forever.
Okay. So you mentioned a few favorite. Who is the most influential from your point of view?
Like mainstream or like?
Give me both.
Okay. Spoken word or we going music?
We're gonna do both. We're gonna do spoken word and we're gonna do music. Yeah.
I think spoken word, one of my like direct people that I have direct contact to is probably my brother, Flow Spasm Judah. He's like a killer spitter, man. He always motivates me. He pushes me. You know, I've stolen some of his bars here and there.
Okay.
But yeah, he's an amazing writer. He motivates me every day. As far as mainstream, they classify him as a writer. I classify him as a poet. Kendrick Lamar easily. But yeah, what he did on The Pimp a Butterfly is nothing short of poetic. So to me, he's a motivation. Just how he crafts his lyricism. You can see what he's saying, and that's everything that I try to do when I spit. It's like, yo, you gotta. When I spit it, you see exactly what I'm saying, even if you gotta listen to it twice. Like sometimes I'll say something that you might have to listen twice to understand. But
so you can see what he's saying. That's deep. That's deep. Now you used the term spitting a couple of times.
Yeah.
For those that are not really familiar, I can make a guess of what it is. But so when you spit, I guess that's dropping your lyrics. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You got bars like that.
Okay. Okay. We'll keep it simple.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, would it be appropriate to give us a little spoken word, a sample of maybe your favorite poetry right now, or something? Whether it's a song or a poem, just a little bar or two. Is that something we can expect? Can we get that right now? Okay.
I got something for you, man. You want something new or you want something old?
Oh, you be careful, because I say I want something both.
It's up to you, man. Just tell me.
All right, so we'll start with old, and then later down before we close it, we'll get something new.
All right. Cool.
All right. So I'm gonna introduce you right quick. All right.
I'm gonna do a short intro.
Okay. All right. So here we go, folks. Spitting a little something for us live right here on Living a Rich Life Talk Show. It's exclusive, only here on Be Exposed Radio. Give it up for the poetic rock star. Go ahead and spit, King.
Yes, sir. See, I got a call one day, and I missed the call. So then they sent me a message, and the message was like, yo, I miss you. And I was like, oh, snap, like, I'm missed. So then they sent me a message, and I was like, well, who's this? And at first the message wasn't clear until they took me a screenshot and said, yo, this message is from Fear. Like, yo, what happened to the days that we used to hang? It used to be me, you, disappointment, and failure. We was like a gang. That's all I'm gonna give you for right now.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
I like that. I was because I felt you starting to get into it.
Yeah, we got to go the whole way.
Right. No, we don't want to do that. So where can they hear that? So that's something old. So where can they go to hear that, the rest of those verses?
Yes, sir. So that song is off from my old project called AEP. You can find it on Apple Music, on Spotify. Just search The Poetic Rockstar. You'll see all my music, my catalog from there, and that record is called Fear. Also, that record is visually on YouTube. If you just search The Poetic Rockstar, Fear come up for you.
All right, y'all heard it first right here. Living a Rich Life, Be Exposed Radio. We expose everybody and everything. Yes, indeedy. So let's talk about. You got this amazing sleeve that says "Chosen."
Yes, sir.
Right.
Can you see it from here?
Yeah, I can see it. Yep. So tell us its meaning. What is share your meaning with us.
My sleeve it goes up. It starts with the it's a dove right here, right? So the dove just basically symbolizes peace for me, and then it goes down to a rose. Of course, the gold roses to me, that is for me. I'm a rose from a broken concrete, right? And then there goes to an eye that says chosen. And that just basically simply means I'm chosen. I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ. And, to this day, I believe like he has a plan for me, whatever that is. I think I'm still trying to tap into, what he's trying to get me to do. I think it is to affect the generations and the generations to come. But I'm just trying to tap into it. So I believe I'm chosen.
Okay. I like that. Keep it simple. I'm a tattoo person myself, so my tattoos also represent things that I've gone through, my life, where I'm going, and things of that nature. So It's
Yeah.
always good. It's excellent conversation piece,
Yeah.
but it's even better when you got a story to it. It's
Yes,
even
sir.
better when you got a story to it. So again, those watching, this is Living a Rich Life, and we have the poetic rock star, and we're just having a good old conversation. Sometimes I forget we're on the air, so just bear with me. Just bear with me.
Yep.
Tell us, what's the biggest lesson you've learned thus far during COVID?
Ah, man, the biggest lesson that I learned during COVID is to check on your strong friends, man.
Mm.
Because actually I have a record called Strong. But I think what I've learned is that everybody really, even though outside of COVID, everybody goes through, may be up or stable. Like I've learned that, you know, even if you don't talk to me every day or if I don't shout you out every day, like every now and then, anyone who I try to check on them at least once a month. That's from a personal standpoint. From an artist standpoint, I think this COVID time was a perfect time to drop music. You know, like how we was talking off air, everybody's on the internet,
Right.
going nowhere. So I think this is the perfect time to like drop music and just for people to see your creativity, because at this point, all the celebrities, all the PR, all the labels, everybody's there and everybody's looking. So I think this is the perfect time for music.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Since we're talking music, let's stay on that topic for a few
Yep.
ticks. So you just put out your single "Losses."
Yeah.
How much of your personal life inspired this song?
All of it. All of it.
That's easy.
Anything that I pin for me, I always relate it directly to me because I never want to be the artist who puts out music about something that's not what I'm living. Like even though I can talk about 8,000 chains and cars and women, but that's not the lifestyle that I live. Like I can write it for the next artist because that's what they live. But for me, anything that I put out, I want it to be genuine, directly related to me. So yeah.
So let's piggyback on that question
Yeah.
for me.
Mhm.
What is do you believe that all artists actually live that lifestyle that they're portraying?
Absolutely not.
I thought you were about to say absolutely. Okay.
No,
Okay.
absolutely not, man. But on the flip side, man, I get it. I get it. You know, when you have the title of rapper, that automatically comes with the image.
Hmm.
Certain artists think they have to portray in order to be successful. You know, there are some though who live the trap life, who have women around them all the time, right? They live that life, but for those who don't, they see that and that's all they know. So I don't bash them for how they choose to portray their creativity. But at the same time, you know, they don't really live that. Like I just saw you down the street, bro.
Oh goodness. Right.
It's interesting because some of the artists that I write for, it's just like, you want me to write about these topics and I'm going to do it because obviously you pay me to do it.
Right.
It's like, bro, why do you want to talk about this, man? Like, I don't understand. Your life is way more interesting for you to talk about this subject. But don't get me wrong, I'll still bump 21 Savage. I'll still bump Migos all day long. But
Right.
you know.
Okay, that's fair. So you mentioned that you work with countless artists, and I think you've been doing that for almost 11 years, since maybe 2009.
Yep.
Tell us who are some of your favorites are, and who you would like to work with again.
Some of my favorite artists, man. First, I got to start off with my team, my guys. Mellow Will, Mr. Marbre, London Savoy, Girl, she's dope. Sean Davey, amazing artist, writer extraordinaire. Even producers, Big Slopes with the Ali. If you don't know him, definitely check him out. Amazing. He did 90% of my project. As far as that's the people that I have direct contact with. People that I would want to work with mainstream, it all depends on the record. Some of my favorites, Off Jump, SZA, Ari Lennox, for a pop record, hands down, Bruno Mars, easy. And then lyricism, you know, my favorite lyricist of all time is Big Sean. Big Sean, of course, the Mount Rushmores of Drake's and Kendrick's and Coast.
Okay. Tell us, Poetic, where are you from?
I'm from Bowie, Maryland.
Oh, you're from, okay.
Yeah, but you know, when you go out of town, you gotta say DMV because they don't. Yeah.
Some that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Let's talk more about the was it how you pronounce it?
Neotree.
Neotree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tear up names and sometimes
It's all
words.
good. All good.
What would you like to see happen for the future of Neotree and music as a whole?
Yeah. So originally, well, not originally. Well, it started off. We wanted to do a curriculum and implement it in the school system. I think that is still something that we're going to try to do, and also a nonprofit called More Than Music. What I want to do, basically, the vision and goal of that is just to show poets how they can still do poetry, but also be in a lane of mainstream sounding music where their message of positivity or whatever they want to portray in spoken word can still come off as good sounding music. Because I don't think people know, like, you can still win Grammys off poetry. Like, that's a real thing. So that's one thing that we're trying to do and just dabble in. But yeah, definitely a curriculum, get it implemented so that these kids who have things to say can put it into sonically good sounding music. So that's the goal.
Okay. So I heard you mention about the DC schools. So tell us about the curriculum you built to engage the DC schools and how it has impacted the community so far.
Yeah, it's impacted a lot. I know when I've talked to kids about, you know, what they're writing and their experiences. You know, originally when we had first started, we had about six kids in the classroom, and that was a lot, man. That was a lot dealing with kids.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but when I finally got them to sit down and talk to them, originally, you know, they wanted to spit about, you know, what they see on TV. And I don't know, like, what do you go through? Like in your home, what do you experience? And for them to sit down and have to like think and put that on paper and then put that to music that sounded good meant a lot to me because it shows like, yo, this is really possible. And to see the smiles on those kids' faces, knowing that, hey, yo, like, mom, I talked about something today. I talked about something of substance. So that was a big thing for me.
Yeah, that was also one of the things that caught my eye when we were, you know, doing our research on you, on how you're, you know, again, one of the principles is philanthropy. So that is one way of giving back to the community. And I applaud you for doing that. I applaud you definitely for doing that. That's
yes, sir.
That's major because sometimes folks don't necessarily give back.
Right. Yeah, I'm just trying to live a rich life, man. That's it.
You know, I generally ask that question at the end of the show, but since you pointed it out, tell us what does living a rich life mean to you?
Oh man, living a rich life means not just financial wealth, but like rich in your mental and the way that you think and the way that you function every day. For me, because I know now what it looks like to be on the other side, to mentally every day, to not know what peace is, or even try to figure out where your next dollar is coming from or your next meal. Like me, my homie Flo Spasm, shoot, we stretched $10 over 10 weeks sometimes. And we've been through a lot.
Right. You do what you gotta do.
So I think, you know, living a rich life means way more than just financial, but it also is financial because I believe in generational wealth at the same time, because I think that is important. Because as much as people say like money isn't everything, you really can't live too much without money these days.
Yeah. It's a big part of it. It's a big part of it. So something we don't really normally talk about on Living a Rich Life, but it is voting time. So, you know, again, folks watching, we're talking with a poetic rock star, talking music, talking philanthropy, we're talking financial freedom, we're talking poetry, all things good. So you're gonna vote early? You're gonna mail in your vote, or you're gonna actually
hey man, I voted already. I voted early.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to get that in.
Excellent. Yeah, people say don't just vote, but have a plan. That's the new thing. Make sure you have a plan. So
Absolutely.
I have a plan now. I'm actually going to vote early.
Nice.
Find my location and vote early because I wasn't feeling too comfortable with the mail-in vote. So
Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
feel it. Even though, man, every way got me on edge, but I just hope it pans out the right way.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. So you mentioned legacy earlier. What type of legacy would you like to leave behind to those who have and will experience your artwork? Then I say
Yeah,
your artwork, your artistry. Yeah.
yeah. I think one of my biggest legacies, like going back to the record 2020 Gold Roses, right? I mentioned in the record, like, I'm cool off having fans, I need some true supporters, because there's a difference, those who ride the wave and those who ride through troubled waters, right?
Say that again. That was poetic. That was poetic. Say that again.
Yeah, man, I said I'm cool off having fans, I need some true supporters, because there's a difference between those who just ride the wave and those who ride through troubled waters.
Mm.
Yeah, because I've been through both of those, like those who just ride your coattail because they know you on to something, and then as soon as the ship get a little rocky, you'll see who really riding with you. So I think that legacy to me is just like everyone who's riding with me through any type of trouble, or whether I'm up or whether I'm down, like my guys, Elevations Global, Watch the Line Media, Safe House Studios, all these guys who are riding with me, who've seen me when I was down and even riding when I'm up. It's just like, I want that legacy to be passed down, that, hey, stay solid to your team, because no matter what, you guys are together. And I want to spread like positivity and motivation that no matter what you go through, whatever life challenges you face, like, you can conquer that no matter what. And it's not the end of the road. Like, tomorrow, as long as you wake up the next day, it's always something that you can do better. And that, if you follow me on Instagram, I always post the 8 ball next to all of my posts, right? And that's not just because I can play pool. Like,
Okay.
the eight symbolizes new beginnings. And for me, this is a new beginning. Even though I've been in this game for a long time, this is a transition. And this is just to tell everybody else, like, no matter where you're at in life, like, you can transition to something better. Whether, even if you're on a high, there's always higher. So, like, always a strive for something new.
Absolutely. Like I said, as you know, we're about inspiring folks and informing. I think your point is well taken, right? So sometimes folks, they riding with that wave in troubled waters, and sometimes you got those folks that want to knock your accomplishments, right? So whether you buy your house at 25 or you buy your first house at 65, it's still your accomplishment. You bought the house. But yeah, you do have some that tend to hate on that fact and say, oh, you should have. No, it just wasn't meant to be at that time.
At that time, man, that's all I'm saying. And like, just not even just to extend it, but like, I remember the first time we did Howard Theater, right? I performed Howard Theater. Shout out to Kid Monique and Over the Poet. Yeah, we performed Howard Theater, and to some people, it was like, yo, how did they do that? You know what I'm saying? Because people looked at us like, yo, they just poets. Like I was saying, your highest is busboys and poets. To be able to go on tour with these guys was just like a huge, amazing accomplishment, because it's not looked at as that's something you're supposed to be able to do. So it's been a journey for me.
Absolutely. So and I was going to get to that. So Howard Theater, we know this. What is your dream venue that you like to perform at, and tell us what song would you perform and what artist would you include? So that's a couple of things in there.
Oh man,
take your time. Take your time.
My dream venue, starting off, my dream venue would be Madison Square Garden. Easily, Madison.
I'm not surprised. I'm a native New Yorker.
Yeah. So mainly because Jay-Z's one of on my Mount Rushmore too.
Okay.
So I love that venue, and artists that I would love to perform there with, my team, man, my team. Every artist that I rode with that got me here, I would want to perform there with them. Saying earlier, the Shans, the Mellow Wills, the Mr. Margraves, the London Savoys, the Big Stokes for the Alley, Valentino, all these guys, I would want to perform them there with them because that feeling would be so genuine that, hey guys, we did this together and we're now at Madison Square Garden performing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah. Now, the one thing these days, in my opinion, most of the great movies have a great music selection, or I don't know what is, for lack of a better term. What are your favorite 2 movies of all time? Any genre?
Oh man, yes, that's easy. My favorite movie, all time number 1, Cool Runnings. Cool Runnings, all time favorite movie, number 1. Number 2, Rush Hour, all of them. Now I could quote Cool Runnings backwards and forwards. But yeah, Rush Hour, those are my top 2, easy.
Okay, because I'm trying to think, excellent movies.
Yeah.
But sometimes you equate some of the musical scores, so, like Titanic. I'm not gonna get emotional, but Titanic, that musical score was. I think about the score actually more than the actual movie. So
yeah,
that's interesting. That's definitely interesting.
Now that's another thing that's a goal for me though. Also is placings, because I write so much music. Like getting scores and placements in film and television is a goal, because who doesn't want movie money?
Right.
For 1, and for 2, I think it's really dope. Yeah. And for 2, to be, like you were saying, to be able to music to be able to connect that feeling in a film is different. And I feel like we have some records on this upcoming project. We do have the title of the upcoming project also, so I might give you that later. But yeah, man, I think we got some scores, right?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm sure you stay on target, stay focused, and the sky's the limit.
Yes, sir.
How do you balance it all? So how do you balance just life, music, and friends and family? Tell us, how do you balance everything?
Man, it's not as hard as it was before. Say that because originally when I was first starting off, I was getting all this attention, man, and I was young in the game. I've been on tour twice, and it was hard because my focus was just, yo, I'm a superstar. Like I done made it at this point. I'm making money, I'm traveling, doing this and that, and I didn't make time for like family and friends and relationships. And I think now when I went through that trial, that life trial, I realized how important those things were. So now I truly understand the meaning of like, you will prioritize things that's important to you. I really, and because now I do it. I make time for it. Like I'm at the studio 90% of the time. Safe House Studios, we do records all the time, but we also have family days on Sunday. Spend time with my relationships. Try all the time. So yeah, it's a cool balance. It always hasn't been cool, but
right. It's a growing process.
Absolutely.
So what's your version of the best vacation, and tell us where that would be?
Oh man, where that would be now, that thought is Dubai, right? Dubai and Paris is my top vacation spots. Because like I'm really chill. I don't like to do too much activity. I just like to chill. Give me a drink, give me some food, and a good view.
Right.
Water, but a view.
Gotcha. You get it. I've been to Paris, lovely place. Nice. I've never been to Dubai. It's on my list. My mother's been there and says it's a lovely place.
Nice.
Very, very lovely place.
Yeah.
So another question I generally always like to ask folks is, tell me, if you had a superpower, what would your superpower be? Or better yet, what is your superpower? Because I think we all have a special, unique superpower.
Yeah, I think my superpower is definitely good energy and motivation. Like I feel like if you're around me, we're gonna experience a good time, good vibes for sure. And if you're ever going through anything, like I'm probably the top person to talk to, because like, how they say check on your strong friends, like I'm probably the strong friend. out of all my friends because I'm a great listener. And I feel like to me, that's a lot of times that's what some people need, someone to just listen to them instead of like talking at them all the time. So I think that's a superpower for me for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, we're talking with the poetic rock star here on Be Exposed Radio, living a rich life, and the conversation is going pretty well, I'd have to say. I'm
Yes, sir.
definitely enjoying it, learning a few things, and I definitely look forward to seeing a performance, the next up and coming project, definitely.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so we're ready to hear that new sample now, if you're game for
The new sample, man. The new sample. Okay, cool, cool, cool. I got you, man. Going back to the record that I'm gonna do is featuring myself and my brother Sean. Sean, like I say, he's amazing, amazing writer. First, he was just a bass player, but now he's killing the game on the music side. So yeah, man, the record is called "Let Me Know." Just a quick sample.
Okay.
Basically, it says, "You don't know what you've been. You don't look like what you've been through. That's a best. That's a blessing. You never took an L. You took a lesson. I see the way you're moving in your section, but if you come my way, then you better call the reverend. Jada, yeah, you keep blessing. Jada, yeah, you keep blessing me. When the devil keep on testing. Jada, yeah, you keep. Jada, yeah, you keep. See, I just want to know. That's it. That's all you get from right.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
It has
Yep.
like a Caribbean vibe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I like to hear that. I like to hear
Yeah.
more. Like I said, your videos. I like your videos. I like the
Yeah.
videos. And I'll be very honest. If I didn't care for it, they just your grandmama say if you ain't got nothing nice to say,
And don't say it at all.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
you definitely got something. It's definitely a different flavor. It's a different style.
Mhm.
And I look forward to actually coming to a live performance whenever we're able to actually do that.
Right.
I know
It's
some.
actually, speaking on that, man, it's an interesting topic because my records to me are good, right? But it's nothing like a live performance to me. Because like when I was talking to my team, it was like, yo, let's release the project. Because originally we was gonna release it. And I was like, yo, man, I need to perform because to me, connecting with the people in person is a totally different feel. Like if you go to a show of mine, it's a guarantee you won't leave the same. Guarantee 100%. Because if you do, you get a refund. It's a guarantee you won't.
Okay, well, we'll keep that in mind. I'm not just a radio host. I'm also a networking guru. So
Yes, let's do it.
okay, all right.
Yep.
I definitely look forward to doing that. So
Yep.
is there any advice you would like to give those wanting to do what you do? Which again, it's a unique. In again, you have the poetry, you have the music, but any
Yep.
advice you like to give those that's wanting to get into the music industry or take poetry to the next level? What advice would you give them?
First advice would be save your money. Save your money because if you go get into this business, it's going to cost for sure. But also, when you do, like the one hit wonders, it's few and far between. So you got to be able to grind mentally and physically because it takes a lot of hard work, and you got to be able to put that time and that work in because no matter how hard you're working, there's always going to be someone who's going to try to work 10 times harder than you. So you got to hone your craft. You got to study your craft. Definitely studying is important and knowing your business because there's going to be so many ways that you can make money in music rather than just dropping music. But you got to know that. You got to know what a BMI is. You got to know how to distribute your records. It's not just making the records. But the first part is knowing what you want to do and focusing on that and studying it. And then don't stop. Don't stop for nothing because it's your dream and go after it. That every day that you wake up is another chance for you to achieve your dream. And then once you achieve that dream, dream again and achieve that one again. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely poetic. Once you finish that dream, dream again.
Yeah.
Dream again. I like that. So I definitely want to thank you for spending time with us today here on Be Exposed Radio, here on Living a Rich Life Talk Show. So let's drop how they can follow you. Once again, how they can get a hold of you, how they can listen to your music. Let's drop that one more time.
Yeah, so you can follow me on all social media at the Poetic Rockstar. That's THE. That's over the poet says. We try to teach the kids how to spell. So that's the Poetic Rockstar. Poetic Rockstar is one word. So definitely find me on Apple Music, Spotify, on YouTube. The new project is releasing January 8th. It is going to be a visual album, and the title is going to be called Restoration, and it's going to be amazing.
Okay, all right. Well, you heard it here this evening, Living a Rich Life. I want to thank the Poetic Rockstar for joining. Please be sure to vote, folks. This year's election is critical, as they like to say. Either way, whoever gets in the office, we got to come up a way, but we need to make some changes and see some changes. So please go out there and vote. I do want to take this time to take a moment of silence for a good friend of mine, a good man who I had the opportunity of working with on several occasions. He was my videographer, Timothy Christmas. He passed away yesterday, struggling with an illness. And I'm going to take a few minutes to, again, this show is dedicated to Tim. So thank you, Poetic Rockstar, for being a part of that. Thank you, Monty, for just making it always easy, because I really wasn't sure I was going to do the show today. But I appreciate you and Big Exposed Radio. Definitely having the last couple of months have been amazing. Tim has been a part of that. He's done a lot of videos for me. And I just want to say this show is dedicated to Timothy Christmas. We're going to have a moment of silence for Tim right now. So again, thanks folks for watching. I am your host, Rich James, the Poetic Rockstar. I look forward to bigger and better things.
Yes, sir.
Stay on that wave. And when you have rocky waters, just find the right navigation and then get right back on that wave. So again, the show is dedicated to Timothy Christmas, a good man, an even better friend. Until next week, I'm your host, Rich James. I want you all to continue to be inspired to live a rich life. Have a good night.